take it or leave it. That's what you get. That's what I got. Sorry, guys. Sorry to let you down.
We apologize. We understand if you turn us off now.
Yeah.
But please don't.
Welcome to Mediocriticast. Hello, welcome to the Mediocriticast.
To the spooky, scary podcasteroo. I'm Kevin.
That was a mouthful. Yikes.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Andrew.
What? Did you say Daniel?
I'm Daniel.
Daniel. Just leave off the...
And this is part 3
of our emotions podcast.
And what are we talking about here tonight on this? If I look outside, it's very dark.
The shivery wivers.
Yes, we are talking about none other than the infamous shivery wivers, the blood-curdling wivery brothers. And talking about fear. We're talking about the things that make you pee your panties and your pontoons. And
I've lost so many panties because of it.
What has scared us the most? I'm not talking about your legit big boy fears right now, like, I don't know, dying alone or whatever it is.
Jesus
We're talking
Christ.
about
Crippling debt from your student loans.
Yeah, what in
ooh, spooky.
That's the real horror film.
Boo! I'm impending death. What scares us? I mean, for me, I'm not trying to be a big beefcake badass, but nothing really scares me in movies. Sure, jump scares can get you. I don't really call them scares, though. Those are shocks or surprises. What actually scared me or scares me more is the actual thought of being scared. So, like, when I'm in a theater watching a movie and it's dark and it's quiet and like I'm waiting for something to happen, like I'm more scared in the anticipation that I may just end up screaming like, and then everyone would look at me and then they would
point and laugh.
Yeah, they'd all laugh at me.
They'd kick you and
they'd take me outside and tie me to a phone pole and
grease you up.
Yeah, and start doing terrible things to me. But
let's not talk about that. But
yeah, it's only happened a few
PG.
times. Yeah. But that is what had scared me more, and one of those times was when I was younger, watching the movie Signs. What scared me in that movie was the moment when they were in the basement, or they were somewhere downstairs when the lights had all cut out, and it was, I don't even know how long, but it was entirely way too long for me, when there was just complete pitch black darkness, and was there shuffling? There was a lot going on. But
there was shuffling, there was noises.
It was absolutely horrifying, because I had not yet seen that in a movie before, where they weren't showing you anything, and they pretty much put it up to your imagination of what was going on or what was about to happen. And I was sweating.
I don't know. So I saw Signs. So honestly, like, I don't remember that part. The part that scared me the most was the stupid found footage stuff. Like, again, it's like stuff you look back on now and you're just like, what the dumb stuff. You're like, why would I be afraid of that? But it's like, you're a young kid, and you're just like, yeah, it's scary. Like, the found footage, just the alien running across the little walkway was like, terrified me. I'll kind of touch on two other ones, but like, one's really dumb, because that was when I was younger, and I was like, I don't know why, but it scared me. Toy Story, when the misfit toys came crawling out from under the bed, I don't know why, they freaked me out. Freaked me out. And again, like, I was young, but it was weird, and I was like, I'm like, I don't know.
Horrible amalgamations.
The misfit toys, I'm like, I don't know what's going on there, but you know what I can say? I don't like it. And I was just like that, the whole thing with Sid and his toys, the little baby with the... It was like a little Hellraiser.
Yeah.
I wasn't dealing with it. I wasn't doing it. I said, I saw that, and I said, that's not right.
You threw your apple juice at the screen, and you said, turn this off.
I said, that's not right. I don't want that. No, I don't know. It's like, it was something I just thought of. I was like, that was something I did not like at all. Like, it wasn't necessarily, I don't know if it was fear, but like, it was weird. It was creepy. I think it was fear before I knew what fear really was.
Yeah. Those Kinect's legs.
Oh yeah, the weird
under your skin.
Weird though. Yeah, those were like the erector set legs. They weren't even Kinect's. Yeah. And like I said, going on to it, I think the next one, which was The Ring, I think that came out when I was in high school, or maybe even, I don't even, what year did that come out? Maybe I was late grade school. I don't know. It came out when I was still naive and dumb, and well, that doesn't change right now. But it's besides the point. I was more susceptible to fear. And that movie, I don't know why. It's like it got a lot of buzz, got all kinds of people talking about, but I was terrified of that ring girl. Didn't like her one bit. I mean, there's even scary movies coming out making fun of her and whatnot. Why? Nothing to do with 7 days. The 7-day work week could just go ahead and just get rid of itself.
Was it the weird
It was the weird
movements?
The scene I remember, the first
human movement.
Oh yeah, and that was one of the movies where they did that first, I think. I mean, I'm sure they did it plenty of times, but mainstream was like that guy.
American, there were of course Ringu.
Yeah, which again, like I've seen it,
that you were exposed to. One of
her
the
coming out
movies.
of the well, where her legs are coming over her head. She was doing all kinds of stuff, like
not even the ridiculous
things I would dream about today, but. Things that when I was young, I was like, absolutely not.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. I want this girl absolutely away from me. And I'd have to say the most terrifying thing about the movie was the bangs that she had. Was just absolutely terrifying. And like I said, now I can see that's the most terrifying thing about The Ring was the bangs that she had. But at the time, it was...
Girl, you need to get a haircut.
Absolutely terrifying for me.
Well, going on The Ring, I actually have an interesting story from when I was a kid, when I still had little birthday parties and like little sleepover parties. It was my birthday.
So like yesterday.
Yeah, so I mean, I just seen it, and my two friends were here who happen to be sitting here now. I'm just kidding. No, it was a birthday party. Had a bunch of friends over, and I guess my parents, they decided that it would be pretty funny to rent a movie for us for the night, and they cut off all the lights, and they put on like some candles and stuff. And they surprised us with The Ring, because my parents are great.
Surprise.
Monsters.
Terrifying movie for a young...
But that's not even it. So the Ring itself, at that time, like, we have never seen anything like that. We had never seen movements like that. And your imagination runs wild when you're a little kid like that. So like,
you're alone, dark.
Yeah, so we're all just sitting in like, huddled up. And, like, there were certain aspects of the movie that were going on, like the phone ringing, the 7 days, all that stuff like that. Well, my parents decided that they would want to one-up themselves and go a little bit further. So my dad is sitting on the couch, or in his like little like recliner, and we're all like huddled up on the floor in the living room, big screen up on the. Well, I don't know. It wasn't flat screen at the time. It was whatever.
It was big compared to you.
It was a big TV at the time.
It's a big tube.
Yeah. So
big tube TV.
So like him and my mom had orchestrated this little skit where the phone rang, and my dad answered, and he did like his dumb little thing where he's like, huh, city morgue, and like, and it was like, oh, I guess you don't want to talk to me, and he hang up. But like, so he's like, city morgue, and he got cut off, and he's like, who is this? What? What are you doing? He's like, yo, I'm not, and he hung up, and then like, I was like, we're freaking out, and we're like, what is going on? But worse yet, they timed the rings up with when the phone rang in the movie. So each time the phone rang, and then my dad was like, we're like, what happened? Who was
Awful
that?
People. They worked at this for months.
They did. Yeah. And then he was like, I don't know who it was. All they said was 7 days. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, so our minds are racing. We're freaking out. We're like, no, dude, that didn't happen. And then the phone rang again at the same sequence when the phone rang in the movie. And my dad puts me on the phone, and all I hear is like in the creepy voice, like 7 days, and then just click, and I was like, "Fuck, guys, oh my god!" And I run back into I sprint full speed to the living room. I'm so terrified, but not on top of that, we were hearing noises tapping on the windows and things like that. Now that I'm older, it's been revealed to me that it was my mom outside the whole time, but it was terrifying when I was like, it traumatized me for weeks. Like until now. No,
terrified.
Legitimately,
real.
I was scared for the next 7 days. I thought I was gonna fucking die.
I'd be in therapy today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was bad. It was pretty. It was pretty
lovely
terrifying.
people.
Yeah, they're great.
So yeah, I mean that was my ring experience.
I mean, I think that, and the other big one that was out when our time was The Grudge. Grudge got a lot.
Grudge was good too.
Grudge was scary. The stupid little meowing kid who just did what Andy's doing right now, just groaning or croaking, whatever.
It was creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy.
And when you're little, like,
it was creepy. It's like it's the inhumane things happening. Like The Ring was, and that's what gets me a lot of times. It's like either inhumane movements to an extent. It's like today it's kind of overdone and kind of like where you're like, all right, relax, you're having a seizure, and then. Or it's that, or it's human-like figures making non-human noises, which is kind of The Grudge. It was like, that's not a noise you're supposed to make.
And especially as a kid, you're like, that ain't what you're supposed to sound like.
You're like, something ain't right with him.
I'll tell you what,
but
that boy ain't right.
You mentioned one of the freakier things that you had was when you watched Signs. You said one of the freakiest aspects was the homemade footage.
Yeah.
And looking back now, this movie
like,
that I've seen
that
I'm about to mention is silly now, but it was Paranormal Activity. I think it was not Paranormal Activity. Excuse me, I was thinking about that because I looked it up. It was Blair Witch Project. That's what it was. My apologies. Mm-hmm. Blair Witch Project. Freaked me out because at the time we were still little, so we were having some sleepovers and stuff. We weren't that little. We were probably like 12, 13, maybe 14, and probably closer to 12. But what we did was we watched it, and it freaked us out, like the home footage thing. And I live in a little town where there's like literally 2 streets, and there's a bunch of woods, and we actually found this place. What actually made the movie more scary was the fact that we were freaked out by it, and then what we did after made it even worse. Because we went deep in the woods the one day, just during the day, and we found this collapsed house, like a little single, like, story house. And the roof was caved in, it was abandoned, and we were like, where the fuck did this come from? We never knew it was here. So then my one friend, Eric at the time, fucking Eric, and he goes, let's camp out here. Mm-hmm. And
Eric dies first in the whole movie. And
so it was like,
sorry, Eric.
Eric goes, yeah, let's camp out here. And we decided that, hey, we're gonna do this. I was like, I'm not trying to do this. And then we're like, oh, are you scared? And it was like 8 of them. So I'm like, oh, I guess not. I'll do it, guys. And then we camped out that night. That was the one night I didn't get any sleep because, like, we had everything all set up, tents and everything set up in there. In the house, by the way, like, there was an open room and we camped out in there. And every single little noise in the woods, every little, like, branch breaking, every little thing, could have been deer, a rabbit scurrying across. I don't know what it was, a possum or something.
Yeah, probably knows. It's a Grim Reaper coming to get you.
I held my sleeping bag so tight that night. It was the most frightening thing ever, and it was the longest night of my life. Like, I never thought that the sunlight would come back up. Oh. It was so scary. And like I said, sometimes with these movies, looking back, they're silly now, but at the time, some of the things that we did as dumb kids enhanced the scare.
Oh, yeah. Of the movie. I don't know if you were in the Pine Barrens, but like, if you ever go camping or anywhere near the Pine Barrens, you can find out very easily. It is one of the quietest places you will ever find, at night.
Dead silent,
and it just
is
weird. It's
black.
Blair Witch was
eerie.
One of the first of the found footage movies, and it was the marketing for that was so astounding that they would have up lost for the characters in the movie, lost people, notes and signs and pictures up everywhere, and they did an amazing job at that. That was before really anything would be spoiled and spilled in about 3 seconds after someone hears of the movie. So there was a lot of people before the movie actually came out that thought that these incidents were really real. And it's funny to look back on now that we as a society would have went into a movie thinking we're literally about to watch something real.
Something occult.
Really lost footage that they're going to show to the mass public. But that was the time that it was at. And
it was like you thought it was like a cult, beautiful. Or you thought it was it was great. I mean, and touching on what Dan even mentioned too, a movie that scared me when it first came out was like Poltergeist, because I think I was younger when that came out. Like those kind of movies where it's because those are the movies that scare me. The movies that take advantage of you, kind of the aloneness. Like, because that's what scares me. It's like, it's not, because when you're with a group, you're fine. It's when you're alone, and when you were younger and you were left home alone for the first couple times or something, or when you were left alone at night and it was like the house made a weird noise or something. It's like Poltergeist was your worst fear of happening. Was like you were alone and there was either somebody in your house or some otherworldly figure moving things in your house just because they can torment you. But like those
spooky, creepy goals.
I got freaked out the other day. Like literally, like it's still stupid.
No, like if Lauren was not here and all the animals were with me and something made a noise, I'd be scared to die.
Oh yeah.
So the house was empty.
Exactly.
For the first time in a while. At my house, and I was in a dead sleep. I went to bed like normal, just not even because I'm an adult. Nothing scares me. I'm a big bad man.
Big boy.
And
big boy with your big boy panties on.
I was sleeping, and there was a loud bang coming from downstairs. Now I'm not thinking. I'm not a kid. I'm not thinking, poltergeist.
No, you're thinking.
I'm thinking someone's coming in to fucking break my house.
Worse, you're thinking there's a murderer in your house.
Yeah,
which is scarier than a poltergeist, because a poltergeist won't kill you generally.
That's
a murderer, they'll kill you.
Right. And
that's in their title.
I never crept down the stairs. I never crept down the stairs so like softly in my life. And I'm just peeking around, and it freaked me out so much that I left the downstairs lights on. Because if I had to go back down, I was like...
Do you know what it was? Did you find out?
Nothing. I don't even know. But I also live...
He's still there.
I also live in a 200-plus-year-old house.
But nothing to make big bang noises. Like, some mild settling. That's allowed. But big bang noises, I don't like them.
Well, I'm thinking ghosties.
That's no water pipe.
Ghosties, yeah, no.
Tell you.
There's no water pipes or something, yeah. That's when you sleep with a baseball bat or worse. You go get a gun permit and you're just like, I'm ready.
Historical Society, my house is listed in there with a bunch of things and a bunch of old pictures because my house is one of the first like colonial buildings, and like it was like
Did you ever see any ghosts?
I have not, but there are some weird noises coming from the attic sometimes, but it's been quiet, and enough so that I forgot about them, and like things like that. But our house used to be like the general store. It used to be like the courthouse and everything for the area at the time. And there's a bunch of history that's in the Historical Society for it.
So maybe people didn't die there. Maybe that's why there's no ghosts.
I'm not sure, but it scared the living hell out of me.
Yeah.
The other day, like last week.
you're like, just, no, I'm an adult now, just a couple days ago.
I was actually
it's
really
still,
scared.
Still there.
So yeah, one of the things my parents never intentionally traumatized me.
Like the way you
I'm sorry.
My parents are now separated, by the way. I just want to put that.
That's why they had a big battle.
It's because they scared them during the rain.
But mine were accomplices to the fact of how this happened. Was that one of the things that scared me the most? I remember I was a small child and it's late at night and I was lying in my bed, sleeping, dreaming of sugar plum fairies dancing and a little tickle. And it wasn't.
A little tickle in your pickle?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I was scared my first time too.
Wasn't anybody breaking in? Wasn't a bearded man breathing over me.
Wasn't Tinkerbell.
I had to go to the bathroom, so I hopped up and I opened my door, and a nice blue light cast into my room, and right across the hallway was the bathroom, and I could scurry right across. But if I walked out into the hallway and turned left and looked down, there was the living room and the TV, and that was the glow. And when I walked out there and turned down, there was both my parents on the couches, and they were watching something on the TV. And what that was arachnophobia. Now, I'm not afraid of spiders to this day at all, but from that movie, the moment when I was a small child and looked down at that hallway into that glowing screen was the moment that spiders crawled out of dead old people's faces, and it was absolutely horrifying.
Your parents warned you. They told you not to come downstairs.
I'm sure they did. They said you have to go to bed. You can't watch this movie.
They said piss the bed.
And you said the hell I can't. And you came right down.
I'll show you.
And
that still sticks with me today. Like I'm not afraid of spiders today, but that was definitely something that scared me.
Yeah.
You know something that's really scary that's not movie related?
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger, I used to suffer from sleep paralysis.
Oh God!
Jesus.
Yeah, Christ. Like mild, but it would happen like
mild. There's no mild to that. It's always severe.
And part of that,
it's just non-existent.
I suffer from crippling, terrifying sleep paralysis.
It doesn't happen anymore.
I know, but it's just good. To me, it's just non-existent or severe.
I mean, it happens like slightly from time to time, but I can get myself out of it. It's like weird, but like it was really bad when I was younger. And I remember the one time, my room, there was just enough light in the one corner, like not bright light, but just a very dim light, and that I would have on. And I remember one time I couldn't move, I couldn't get up, I couldn't wake up or anything. And all I remember was part of sleep paralysis is you can also have hallucinations during that time, like slight hallucinations.
Yeah,
and there was this particular... I'm gonna say it was Shadow.
Oh, you saw a fucking Shadow, man. I'm out of here.
I did.
Did he have a hat on?
I specifically remember because my bed is off to the right back corner.
He's all about it.
I read about this.
It's to the right back corner, and my door is to the left front corner of my room. The light was on an outlet to the right at the foot of my bed. So if you know anything about lighting and how shadows work, they project themselves, it would project itself towards that wall. Now, mind you, I'm like 10, so I don't know anything about goddamn lighting. And
I don't know anything about geometry and angles and shit.
All I know is,
now I'm a shadow master.
All I know is I can't move because I can't get myself out of it, and I just see this being, and it was because of the way the shadow was. I'm still saying it was a fucking shadow. I don't know what the hell it was. It was like the best way I can explain it is if you've ever seen like pictures of quote unquote like Slender Man, like something very tall and
it's
lanky.
It's one of the most common things that
it was like a tall, lanky shadow.
They call them shadow people.
Scared
Wikipedia
the living hell out of me, and it ruined me for that. That's actually why I started sleeping with a fan on and the television on, because I wanted more light and more sound to keep me from.
Does the fan keep the shadow people away? Did the shadow people make noise?
I haven't seen the shadow people left, but
they went.
No, no, but even
Come here, little boy. Come here.
but even when it wasn't happening, if I didn't have the fan on, if I do live in an own house, it does creak at times.
I get it.
When I would hear a freaky sound, it would freak me out.
Or
I would
get
not,
you all paranoid,
and I would
yeah.
not want to move out of the blankets. So drowning out that noise, like these are coping mechanisms that I built up. But that's another very terrifying thing that I had to deal with as a kid.
What creeped me out was it's kind of dead at this point. Like, it doesn't really happen, or it's not really applicable anymore. But I didn't even see Poltergeist at the time. But it's just like in a dark room with absolutely just static on your TV.
Freaky.
I don't know what it is exactly. And I saw a Poltergeist eventually. But
that's confirmed.
It
Scary.
Yeah, confirmed. I was like, okay, my thoughts were correct. Static TVs equals bad things.
Things come out of that.
I'm like, that's not good. Get rid of it as fast as possible. But it was almost like the same thing where it's like, if you ever had like a house where the light switch for the basement was at the bottom and you had to turn it off and you had to run up the stairs really quick because if it's dark, the things just automatically populate and will get you. So it's the same kind of thing where I had that, where it's like anytime static came on, I was fucking terrified. And I was like, absolutely not. Had to change it or turn off. But see, that's the problem. You'd either try and switch sources really quick because you didn't want it to be dark, because the dark was terrifying as well. It was just a double-edged sword where you're like, I can't turn the TV off to get rid of the static because then it's just dark and that's just as terrifying. Or I keep the static on and that's just making that terrible noise, which... Like I said, kids today probably will never hear the fucking terrible noise.
No, that doesn't happen anymore.
No,
we'll have to do another podcast of real life.
Yeah,
you can
put survive the static TV in the dark.
Decision making and so like decision making 26 years.
But yeah, when I was a kid, like those are things that terrified me. It was like. The dark still terrifies me. The dark is scary. Even like you said in Signs, it's terrifying.
It's the fear of not knowing.
Because it's like, the dark's fine, but like, not knowing what's in the dark? No thanks.
You gotta know it's there.
Yeah.
I gotta know it's there.
Even if I know what's there, anything could join the dark at any time.
Yeah.
It's like...
The dark could bring its buddies, and I don't know what's going on.
That's what I mean. It's too scary. The unknown, that's what's too scary.
Like, is a serial killer no matter what, like,
serial killer in the daylight's scary.
Scary. But a serial killer standing in a dark hallway?
Yeah, but he's
terrifying.
Yeah, because he probably won't kill you during the daylight. At least in public.
Maybe not.
Probably not. Chances are not, because he'll probably get caught, and he doesn't want to get caught.
Most likely not.
Yeah, because he wants to continue killing serially.
Correct. And I say he because most serial killers are men. But,
that's true.
Could be a woman. I'm not sexist, but chances are...
I saw that show, Dangerous Women.
I know.
Deadly Women.
Chances are,
chances are, though, it's a man because most women are killing husbands for their insurance money.
Whoa.
I mean, if you look up Deadly Women, it's a lot of the cases. Or a lot of cases are abusive husbands or something.
They're just as nasty and bloodthirsty as us men, right? They will kill anyone.
Oh, men are much more violent. Animals.
You know what are violent? Dinosaurs.
They were. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna end this on a lighter note. That was one thing that scared me, and it's one of my favorite movies to this day is Jurassic Park. But at the time that they came out, I was very young, and I was watching it with my entire family. Still not nearly as sadistic as your parents, Dan, but I was watching it, and it was literally the first Jurassic Park, and I mean, I was still loving every second of it, but shitting my pants at the same time. It was the T-Rex breakout scene, and I just remember it, and I was just glued to it because I was equally fascinated and horrified at the same time because I'd never seen anything like that yet to date. And I just remember it's simple, not a very very thought out plan to scare me, but my dad reached behind me and went, it's simple as that, and my goodness, did I scream!
You pooped your pants,
and I pooped everywhere. And then they, you know what they did? They took me outside and they
They
tied me
beat
to
you.
a
They
food
flogged
pole
you.
and they greased me up.
No, man, we made it full circle, you know.
And that's it. And yeah, those are the things that scared us the most.
And she has a name. Sally Mae. The debt collector for student loans.
Alright.
So, for our next motion...
We're gonna
podcast-
get mad. I'm so
I'm angry. What?
You won't like me when I'm angry.
I think that's the quote.
I'm so mad.
We're really good at being angry. But
So we're gonna talk about things that's a little got us a little mad.
make you mad. Make
Got a
your
little
face
hot
red, and not
tamales.
because you're embarrassed, but because you're so furious. You're angry.
Which this could be movies that were just so bad that made us.
Could be
mad,
bad.
or-
Could be that they misled us. It could be that it was a theater experience that made us angry.
Yeah, because I
Could
don't
be
know.
lots of
I
things.
don't know if there's any movies that just are literally out there just to piss you off. So that's a weird.
know.
That's a weird gimmick, but
No.
I got a theater experience right off the bat.
theater experiences.
That
Could be
pissed me
theater
off.
experiences.
You
We
beautiful baby boy. You
might talk about some Transformer movies. Might talk about lots of things. There could be lots of. You say there's not movies that are purposely not made to make you mad. I'd argue the opposite.
Anything by Michael Bay.
But
So get ready, motherfuckers!
we're gonna get angry.